You can actually just keep that.
Keep the glove?
You can keep that glove.
You're gonna let me keep this glove?
Yeah, you can have it, right? You're a 2 over guy?
2 in the pink?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
So you're not gonna be able to use that with 2 in the pink.
No,
That's the only exception. Because it's already broken in, you know?
Oh yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
It's like stuck.
Right. That's how a freaking man breaks in a glove right there, dude.
All right, sweet.
We're gonna start a little bit closer, and then we're gonna go right foot forward for just a few. I know we're a little restricted with how many throws. Right foot forward is gonna allow you to feel like the torso getting back to counter rotate. Yeah. And then when you go right foot forward, right now you're like pretty staggered, right? Just, a little bit more linear in a line, and then boom, glove side, just feel the glove side extend and throw. Yeah, 100%. Okay, now, remember what we were doing when we were just pulling horizontally? I know it's gonna be totally different than what your typical arm action is, but just pull horizontally, start out front, pull back, and then whip, boom, throw. Okay, so do you feel the difference?
Yeah, it's coming off.
So that comes out way, like, obviously harder, but the spin is like that, right? The other ones, when you're dipping, like, and trying to loop into your arm action, there's times where you're getting around it, and it looks like you're throwing cutters at me, right? Is that pretty familiar?
No, I don't know. My ball normally runs.
Normally runs,
Sinker.
right. Okay, so just do like three or four more reps, just pulling horizontally. Yeah, that's cool. I like looking at that. Yep, nice. Yep, one more, right here. Good. Now, I don't know how you've typically been throwing, and I know we've already thrown probably like 10, but I'm really big, especially in the rehab process, to be like expressing movement while we throw. So like whether it's like step behinds, like ground ball funnels.
Yeah.
So like for now, I would give you like one of my favorite ones, which is just like a simple like just funnel ground ball side shuffle throw to me. Doing something that's like giving your hands movement, whether it's fielding here, catching a throw.
Still do this with the 1 pound in there?
You can take that out if you want, if it feels like uncomfortable.
Actually, no, I'll leave it.
Yeah, leave it in then. Just something that gives your feet movement with your hands. Yep. So see how now your hand's trying to create a ton of space, right? Like that's your natural arm action, and that getting into that release slot is gonna be pretty tough, right? Because there's a lot of movement to express there.
Yeah.
So I like the funnel throws like that, or like the ground ball, because it's simple, boom, to the chest, and like right into that pull back here, instead of like dropping and getting back here. So I'm just trying to simplify the path this is taking.
So do you think it's a good thing that I get like big like that, or are you trying to simplify it down to like
I think
shorter?
Your biggest issue is the consistency of your finger behind the baseball, because guys that like have a huge path like this, it's a lot harder to be consistent here. That's why I think some are going way over there and some are like getting on the side of it and cutting.
All right.
You simplify the path, now the hand's just ready to rock when the front foot comes down. It's almost like just doing preset variations like here and just feeling the torso rotate and the arm get pulled through. Remember, we're not trying to create arm speed upon hand separation, right? We're just trying to allow the hand to get in the most leveraged position for when the torso rotates. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like arm speed isn't created by the arm separating and gaining ground, right? It's created by segmenting rotation and pulling through. Because right now you're going through a lot of path. Tempo is gonna be a little bit different with your feet too, because you're moving. So like sometimes you're here, sometimes you're here, sometimes you're here, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go feet together for like 5, so pull ball back, stay in the tit line, pull ball back, yep, and then pull the torso, that pulls the arm. Do you feel the difference between that path and your other ones?
Yeah, my other ones feel longer.
Right, we'll connect some dots here in a little bit.
It almost feels like I'm like short arming it.
What is short arm to you?
Like when I'm like just getting up.
Yeah? That's not what short arm is. Short arm, to me, isn't about hand separation.
But it also is like different for me because like I have a long arm action.
Yeah.
So anything shorter than that is gonna feel.
No, it's gonna feel super weird, but my goal is like the consistency of the hand placement when this comes down. And that's the only thing. People think it's the glove side that pulls a lot of the time, and they're like, oh, I need to fix my glove side. It's more oftentimes the arm doing a little bit too much to trigger the glove sides to start pulling early.
How would my arm trigger the glove?
Because they work together. So if this thing's coming through a long path, this thing needs a little bit more time, right?
Yeah.
So this thing has no opportunity to go down like the arm does, right? So this goes out, this goes down. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that looks exactly how I thought.
Right, so ideally we would want like separate, hold, boom, and now when I do land, right, I'm still neutral. My hips have rotated, right? The lower body's gonna be responsible for the generation of stretch. I wanna land neutral with my torso, so then I can pull all that rotation with my arm. That's what I said earlier with arm speed, right? People think arm speed is happening when they separate their hands. That makes sense?
Yeah.
And it's almost like do less. So I'm gonna show you some video while we throw, just to kind of give you a little feel versus real. So we'll start neutral and just pull back, throw. We'll spend a little bit more time back here on that one. Do you feel the connection between like the release of that, feeling your fingers go through the baseball?
It feels like it's just coming off so much sooner.
Yeah, as opposed to some of the other ones, it feels like you're on the side of it.
Somebody on the side, bottom.
Yeah, okay. So I hate to do this because I know it sucks to like be in constraints, but I need you to feel like the position that we want to leverage the arms. So go ahead and get your hips into rotation, get your feet a little closer together. So not fully in, because we're gonna counter rotate the torso. So the hips are gonna kind of come back a little bit, but I want you to have that hand in that position we had it over there, inside 90. So from here, pull through. It's gonna feel weird because you're not like creating rhythm, just pull that hand through. And you'll gain a little bit familiarity with it as we get going. So instead, sometimes you'll go like back, and then as you get to that counter rotated, you'll go with your hand. Keep it locked. I would say for the next 3, just keep it locked here and then pull through. So don't even go like there. Just keep it here, torso counter rotated, pull through. Does that make sense?
So just reset it?
Here, boom. Just leverage it there. Hold, pull through. That looked weird. It's gonna feel so weird because you're not creating any rhythm. There it is. Feel the difference there? That was like, all right, pull through, but get through it.
Yeah.
Instead of like pull through and then pull off. Hey, are you doing leg lifts in your throwing right now or no?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, so let's go ahead and just step throws. So go here, throw. I want
Still trying to emphasize that arm action?
I want your hand out of the glove and just staying in your tit area, hovering. So then as soon as you step, it's pull back with the hand. And I tell guys to like lead with the elbow instead of leading with the hand. Does that make sense? So like I'm gonna step through and throw there. I'm gonna go, boom. The path of least traveled, to me, influence is gonna be a little bit more consistency. And then in a game, like we have enough deviation to be able to know where we need to position ourselves to get the most velocity. It's just building that as we get back from surgery just to get the consistency aspect. So remember, just hover, step, simple, pull through, yeah. Do less with the upper body, that's what I think. Good. That's the rep too, where you kind of get counter rotated, but then you go too much and you lose sight of the target, and then your brain says, dude, we gotta go, and then you pull pretty hard. Instead of just kind of just being quiet, letting it work, and then just having the arm along for the rep. That's a sick throw, dude. That's nice. Too much. You feel the difference? That one you had too much movement, and it got you a little bit disconnected, out of alignment. So
you're saying I got a little longer with my arm?
And that's, yeah, so that's the perception of what that feels like to you, right? Like it just feels like long.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd say simplify it. Just hang out right in that tit area. Now you get a little bit more consistent, right? And that was a longer path. But your body found a way to organize, to leverage it. I know how weird it feels, dude.
No, honestly, it doesn't feel that weird. It just feels like it's just in a different position.
So this is what I always say. People think short arm is like the path the hand takes. Short arm is just not getting extension at ball release. It's cutting yourself off, being restricted there. So the path the path is technically short, but the short arm, it's not short arm because you're then leveraging into extension. I know, like I'm trying to figure out like the right terminology.
No, a lot, like it's like here.
But yeah, and if we think about just how arm speed is created, right? I think it minimizes the amount of movement we're trying to express because we're just trying to get it up before our torso starts to rotate. So that's why sometimes it makes no sense for people because they're like, I'm not doing anything up here, and it feels like that, right? It feels very quiet and still, and your brain perceives like I'm trying to throw hard. There should be a lot of movement happening, right? Same thing, start this way, and then do the same thing with step behind. Yes, dude, now you get that freaking late Johnson going. I know you have no idea what Johnson means, but you will soon. Okay?
So what was the difference between that though and the one before?
You tried to create a little bit more arm speed. That pulled this. Do less up here.
All right.
Do less up here. Think about the intent kind of turning down, but it's happening late.
Okay.
Late acceleration, quiet early with the hands, and then as soon as it comes down, dude, like that's when we're like, oh, we have all this energy, like I'm gonna pull it through. Yep. You'll piece together like when that intent happens. And that's pretty apparent mentally for you, right? Like you know that felt better.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
100%.
Good. That's good. Do you feel the hand?
That felt a little, I got a little longer with it.
So the only difference is instead of staying in that tit and like going back this way, as soon as the front foot started to go, the hand went this way, back this way, right, as the torso's going. So that's why when you start to rotate, your hand can't really get in that slot where the fingers are behind the ball going towards me, right? Mm-hmm. So when you're simple and when you land and it's here, as the torso rotates, it's like, boom, I'm behind it. That's why you get those reps like 1 in every 5 right now, I think. It'll come right to my pecker and it'll just go, whoom, because you're on time through it. And that's just from the simplifying of it. You're so close to it, you're just mistiming just a little bit, get a little bit more rhythm. Yep. And it's okay to set like mental sights. Obviously, we're trying to feel things, so you're like...
I'm just trying to throw it through the ATP logo.
So instead of thinking here, think like just the right side of my body.
All right.
The right side of my body is going to force you to be like, I have to get extension.
All right.
And that's usually going to help with the late intent of your hand.
All right.
It's hard to think sights with guys when you're trying to feel this because you're going to go back to your natural tendency, which is to like push it out.
Yeah.
So really emphasize just feeling it loose, compacted. Yeah. And then the result of it kind of just naturally happens. So don't even think location, because as soon as you go to like, I need to throw it there, this is just going to like get back to normal.
Oh, I did that again?
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't really like, just continue to think hover, step behind, pull through. Yeah. Yep. Let's finish with these. Go here. We're going to finish 10 real quick. Here. Pull back, throw. In a line. Pull back in a line.
Oh.
So pull back here. Boom. I know you're probably tired.
A little bit.
I don't want you to throw too much. I don't want to be the reason you're freaking dead.
No, it is a little fatigued.
Okay, so when the fatigue sets in, what happens is those typical motor patterns of like this come back, right? And so that's just the reason why I didn't want to like go anymore. You got it earlier. The plyos are going to be huge for you moving forward because there's no location base, right? It's just like I need to feel. I need to feel like, and video yourself too, because that's what really helps like harms is like the feel versus real.
Yeah.
Your perception of feeling is based off of like all the reps you've had in your entire life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So there's gonna be a little bias. So it's like video yourself and just think like, all right, the goal is to position the hand at front foot strike above the elbow, above the shoulder, while the torso has yet to rotate. If that's the goal, then the goal of hand separation is to just accomplish that, right? And with you, a lot of front side pulls. So I think it's because your arm, your hand is so like long that this doesn't have enough time.
Yeah.
Right?
That makes sense.
So it almost has too much time, right? This path that when the hand flips up, this is already starting to go.
Yeah.
And then when you land, it's kind of like getting you here. So as you rotate, the hand's not getting like on top of it.
Like on the side,
you know what I'm saying? And the ones you had where it was like freaking zeek are the ones where it looks like you're doing nothing and it's simple and it's just like, all right, land, I'm gonna throw, and then whap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, what you're saying to me makes a lot of sense because I look at film and I come here and I'm like trying to pull and I'm just popping the shoulder up.
Yeah, and that's why I loved like doing plyos and like being really hands-on because like I can put you in like positions to where you feel leverage because I'm like giving you resistance, right? So if you got like in that position we were in over there in the plyos, and I said extend your glove side, boom, that automatically digs your scap into a little bit more. I think another issue too he's having is he gets so much trunk like counter rotation that he's not picking up the target, and that's forcing his brain to pull the torso early. My biggest encouragement when it comes to the arm action stuff, and everyone knocks on it because they think it's short, that's bad, which is stupid, but you're gonna be able to like throw effortless cheese just because of the alignment. The reason why your ish is probably jacked up is because this is already releasing that energy buildup, and then the arm is like, oh shoot, we gotta make up for lost ground. Let's accelerate it, you know, like we gotta get freaking arm speed.
Yeah.
When in reality, it's like do less, right? So then when you land, you have full rotation of the torso instead of like being here, right? Then that pulls into like the pushness.
Almost like less is more, you know?
So that's why I say less up here, okay? And then let the lower body build your energy, right?
Yeah.
So you lift, you load, freaking snap, rotate, while the torso just goes, hey, oh, now we're hanging out. Oh, that's cool. Your hips are rotated. That's pulling us through. That's releasing the rotational energy that we've generated just from the lower half. When the arm, I think, tries to do too much, when the arm tries to build arm speed and velocity early, it's gonna start to go early, and we don't want the torso to go early. And I think with the plyos, it's gonna be really big for you, so just lock in, right? Video yourself, lock in on that feeling of like, can I pull it in a more connected path? Makes sense?
No, it doesn't.
All of it makes sense, I'm sure, but it's like the application to it, right? The putting yourself into these environments that you're like, oh, that's a different feeling. Let me lock that in. What does that look like? Let me film it. And then boom, you hit one that's like a good feeling. You go back to the video and the hand goes like this. And you're like, okay, I just can't dip the hand below my waist. But the feeling you've got today is like, there's times where it's like, boom, I'm behind the ball, right?
Yeah.
And that feels good.
No, the balls that come out like firm, I feel like they're just more powerful too.
Yeah. And honestly, out of a lot of the guys that I work with around your age, the first time doing it, like first time organizing a little bit differently, it looks just like that. Like 1 in every like 5, 1 in every 7 is like the good. You know, that was fun, dude.
Yeah, it was.
Sorry, it took a little bit longer.
You're good. You're
yeah,
good.
Here, give me this.
So you want the glove?
Dude, it's yours.
All right.
Yeah, it's yours. I know you're a 2-out guy, but I got 71 of those.